give praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakanash.
Double honor to our teachers, the apostles, and your traditions, the great millstones. Peace, love, and salutation to the Lord's elect. Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. You know what we can see about the end of the world. You see, because the events are shown in the earth, what the end of the good thing. This is concerned about Lord Yahushua. You see, and this is like Esau, he put so many distractions, so many different doctrines that leads you away from the return of our Lord. It does your mind, to the events that are taking place in the earth. So what these things are going to come upon you suddenly. And the world's going to be taken by a spirit of confliction, not knowing what's taking place, and then that is going to cause all hell to break loose and hit the place. See, but yet the Lord has warned of these events that are unfolding on the earth.
21 and 34. Luke 21 and 34, it says, watch out. Don't let your hearts be judged by carousing and drunkenness and by the words of this life. Don't let that day catch you unaware.
And you see, the carousing and drunkenness, this is what the lenses, man. You see? In which this is what America pushed. You go into the ancient Roman Empire, it was a guy called Bacchus. You see, and you go into the spirit of Bacchus, it really just takes you back to partying and bullshit, man. Because he was a deity of festivity. And this is America, man. You see, America pushed that spirit of mirth, peace and safety, so much so where people's minds is dull to why these events is happening on the earth. And then Esau, he coming with a micro C here with this new digital system. Niggas don't know why this shit is happening, man. AI being created and pushed to the forefront. You see, all these different elements. This nigga pushing for a pessimist. You see, not.
Break out.
Yep. Yeah, the NBA Finals. You see, artists and rappers, he pushing all this shit. Really, that's gonna dull your mind, man, 'cause that's the cares of his life. A nigga trying to push you to be, who can get the most clout. You see? Who can be the biggest nigga? Who can be the next sexy red, man? But that's gonna cause these events to come upon you unaware.
It says, like a trap, but that day will come upon everyone living on the earth. So keep alert at all times.
See?
It says, and pray that you might be strong enough to escape all these coming horrors and stand before the Son of Man.
Yeah, see, he said keep alert at all times. And one thing that you watching is prophecy, man. This is what keeps you, your head above water, for the lack of a better term, man. You see, because the cares of this life, the drunkenness, the philosophies, and the doctrines, they try to chase a bag that does your lenses. You see, so now you chase about the things that's acclimated to this system continue. You see, and you're gonna be destroyed with it, man. Because the scene that's set to come into the earth is horrible. You see, and one thing that's gonna bring the horror is the prophecy.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, the end of all things, man. And you see this because the Lord tell you in the last days, perilous times shall come. You see, those perilous times are going to come through things reducing their strength. You see? And this is your food, your resources, your stability, your sense of security. All these things will reduce, man. And that's going to bring forth times that's hard to bear. But people are going to respond in a savage, harsh, and fierce type of spirit, man. This is what we tell you to repent and return to the Lord, because the Lord, he grants mercy and protection from the things that's set to come into the earth. See? But yet, the end of all things, even your fucking ADT, house security, that shit better come to the end, man. Because when the grids go down, that shit ain't gonna matter. 911 coming to the end. See? But yet, in all this man's system.
Again, this is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
See, yes, being sober-minded under the doctrine of Yahweh, but I should not stop. See, because this is what you're going to see display itself in the earth. It tells you that in Proverbs 4 and 18, that the path of the just is as the shining light. It shines more and more to the perfect day. See? So this doctrine, you know, that's pretty much radiating out the prophets, this is what's gonna display itself in the earth. So this is what you want to be sober, you know, towards, man. You know, but it says
the definition for sober, strong V4993, and I get to the point where it say to be of a sound mind, being one's right mind, it says curb one's passion. There's another definition that goes into pretty much having not a care for this current life. I think that there's another scripture. No, yeah, here it is, right here. To curb one's passion. But anyway, it goes into pretty much putting off this world, like we brought out in 134. You know, do not do it with the cares of this life. You're drunk. Like the things when you saw pushing out. But be sober-minded, meaning that your eyes are focused on prophecy. All right? You're in tune with what the Spirit is talking about. You're preparing your mind. So everything else can't throw you off for it.
you carry on passion. See, because you had a passion before you came into the truth. You had a passion in this world, man. You had goals, you know, dreams that they wanted to accomplish. See, and yet you curved these things, you curved the ministry of the outside. You see, because it tells it's going down, man.
Book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 11 in the NLT. This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed.
See, yes, our salvation is nearer now than when we believe, man. But yet it's a sense of urgency, you know, that you repent and return to your house by Shema Rashad. You see, because you can even see how things is moving fast, man. The Lord is drawing the word up. You know, in a moment in time, you're not going to be able to hear the words of your house by Shema Rashad. See, but yet you see that it's a high time to wake out your sleep because the destruction is in the door as well. You know, got it.
The night is almost gone. The day of salvation will soon be here.
Yeah, see, and this is this system, you know, this night is almost gone, man. You know, and the day of salvation is near. You see? And you can tell the night is almost over because World War III is intensifying, man. See, that's what's going to introduce the day. You know?
He says, so remove your dark deeds like dirty clothes and put on the shining armor of right living.
Which is repenting and returning to the Lord. You see, that shining armor and right living is his truth, man. You know, this is the knowledge of life. You see, in which the ways of America, it gives you the knowledge of death.
Right? It says, because we belong to the day, we must live decent lives for all to see. Don't participate in the darkness of wild parties and drunkenness or in sexual promiscuity.
Yeah, you see, because those things dull the lenses, man. And that's all America is about, man. These lavish nightlife parties, day parties. Like the brother was mentioning before the camera going on, before the camera cut on, how it was some Eve walking by headed to a day party, man. You see? But yet they mind, you can't ask them shit concerning the prophecy. You know, the return of the Lord, what the handlebars all about, man. You see? What the mark of the beast is, they ain't got a clue, man. You know, because at the end of our wrong, I'm mentioning, you know, they part of the portrait. See? So when you in the portrait, you can't see what's on the portrait, man. You in that, man, you know, you in it. See?
What they said they was doing in the days of Noah. You know, they were eating and drinking and giving it to marriage, man. You know, they were heading to the club, man. You know, they were planning on drinking, you know, having a good time. You know, but the scripture said they knew not until the day that the flood happened. You know, and a lot of our people, man, they drunk, man. You know, they don't know what's coming, man. They ain't sober. You know, and they're not watching or paying attention, you know, to the prophecy.
Yeah, that the Lord said he got how the sword was not. You know, just like in the days of Noah, they knew not until the flood came, but the flood is coming to claim the people, man. You see? The Lord could have sent for all sorts of scattered showers, you know, from the famine to all hell break loose, cannibalism, you know, to the collapse of the dollar, you lose the stability here in this society. You see, but yet it's gonna end in strange rain. You know, a thunderstorm, a nuclear missile, man. See?
It says, and immoral living or in quarreling and jealousy.
Yeah, that immoral living, man. The elder Malcolm up in Chicago was going into that damn Epstein files and things like that. You know, they had mentioned that they arrest everybody on the Epstein files, like it'll collapse the system, man. Yeah. You know, and that shows you what's needed in the earth, man. You see, because this place it pushes an immoral type of immoral standard, man. You know, fucking whoredom, adultery. See, pedos, you know, niggas eating all sorts of abominable foods, tricking. See, adultery again. See, yeah, this place wicked. That's Hosea 4:1. You see, because of the deeds of this place, the Lord has a controversy with this place, man. And that controversy is going to be settled by way of World War III. I'm gonna burn this bitch up, man. They ain't you wicked ass people, man. Cause you niggas hate the Lord here, man. No, weak ass niggas, man. Them fucking weirdos, man. Nigga hate the Lord. The Lord want righteousness in the earth, man. See, but a nigga you just wanna get rich and ignore the wickedness in America, man. Lord gonna destroy you fucking niggas, man. It's like that.
Instead, clothe yourselves with the presence of the Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
Yeah, see, and this is truth, man. You know. When you come into the knowledge of the truth, then you understand the end of this place. You see, you understand the end of wicked. It is a recompense for this bullshit, man. You know, it is a recompense for homosexuality. Your women talking back, bad-ass children. It's a recompense for these things, man. And the Lord gonna settle you by way of the prophecy. You know, prophecy gonna turn everything upside down in America, man. All that flexing, this nigga Esau to turn real currency into paper, man. Nigga ain't considering that. This nigga took gold and silver and made you fight over paper. You know, but you comfortable with this shit. You want 100 million paper. You know? That's why the Lord gonna destroy y'all niggas, man. See? Because when Esau in power, money won't even exist no more. You know, this nigga ain't just be on a fucking computer with a nigga just typing in numbers. That'll be your money, man. Fuck, man. See, that's why the destruction gotta come. See?
And don't, like a little bit more. And it says, and don't let yourselves think about ways to indulge your evil doing.
Yeah, don't even think about ways to indulge in America, man. Because America promotes those. Your evil really came from what you learned in America. You know? So if you want to be good, you turn away from what you learned in America, man. But what you turning back to, brother, you be out there at 55 and 6. You see, because it is a way that it is a path that you turn back to when you let go of America, man. You know, and you return to the Lord. That's you going back to the way with a peace.
This is book of Isaiah, chapter 55, starting at verse 6. And it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
Yeah, you gotta seek the Lord while this path is available only for a short period of time. Limited edition, man. You know, limited time. It's a limited time only. See? The path of righteousness, man. How to get it right with your house by smell shot. How to be saved. It's a time limit on it, man.
It says, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him. And to our power, he will abundantly pardon.
See? Yep, so that path, you know, ultimately you return to your house by smell shot. Tell you that in Jeremiah 6, you know, that old ways, seek ye the old path and walk ye in it, man. You know, it's a way that you walk in the earth that brings forth deliverance from a higher being, man. See? Whereas Esau Edom, he presented a way that you walk in, it kills you, man. See? It make the Lord judge you. See? But yet the Lord, through his prophets, he presented a way that puts you in a good stance with him so that when these prophecies, which is going to bring forth great evils in the earth, when they unfold, somehow you won't make it out, man. You know?
Yeah, if I may back that point up. This Psalms 97 and verse 10. It says, ye that love the Lord hate evil.
Yeah, see, yeah, this is the Lord commanding you to hate, man. See, nigga tell you hate a strong word. But it's really geared towards some wicked shit, like a homo, man. Nigga tell you ain't supposed to hate that shit. but it don't bring forth life. What can I do with it? You know, like a nigga handing you a two garden, you know, what the fuck can I do with it? See? So yeah, the Lord said, hate the evil. Okay.
He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked.
See, yes, and that's Esau, man. Because Esau, he's the one, that's that sword that the Lord is going to use to pretty much bring forth prophecy in the earth. You know, when you consider the pestilences, famine, greed, power outages, you know, the many great evils, it's going to be ushered in through Esau, man. You know, because right now he done duped you up for, in fatness concerning the resources, you know, stability. But he gonna strip that shit away. You can see how you gonna respond to it, man. But yet the Lord saying he's gonna deliver the righteous out of these things, man.
If I may, Esau was set up as pretty much as father. That's why Yahweh Shai told the wicked Pharisees that you're your father, the devil, you must be your father, you would do. So also the scripture says that, you know, when you raise up a child, the way in which you should be and the way in which you should go, when he is old, he will not depart from it. So pretty much what the message is saying is that you gotta take away that old man. You gotta kill off the old man in spirit. You become a new man. It means that now, first and foremost, you hate everything that the Most High hates. You love what you love. So America is a great offense of you now. All right? You're not seeking for the lust of flesh for the youth as you did once before you was in that truth. Now you're trying to get away from that shit. And you found out that, you know, committing adultery, going to night parties with fucking with another nigga bitch or whatever, that was all offensive against the Most High. So eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, serving Jesus Christ, Allah and Buddha, that was all offensive. So you put away from that shit, and then you come into the new man in Romans the 2nd chapter, 12th chapter, 2nd verse. You know?
This is on Proverbs 8 and verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance, and the evil way in the forward mouth do I hate.
Yeah, read it again.
Come on. Proverbs 8 and verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil.
Right, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. So now that you've been exposed to what the past judgment, the Lord got a track ready to fuck the niggas up. This was the time of Noah, man, with the flood. If he's able to, or willing to, should I say, destroy everybody and save their souls, that should strike some kind of fear with things. And when you read the book of Surah 1, I believe 19 or 21, it says that through the fear of the Lord, it makes you depart from sin. But to paraphrase, you know, by being exposed to that, you believe in report. What he did unto Pharaoh, what he did unto Sodom and Gomorrah, you should already know that they did those same wicked acts with the Pharisees during the day. So what's going to be the end result? Death and destruction. Yeah.
It says pride and arrogance, and the evil way in the forward mouth do I hate.
Yeah, the evil way in the forward mouth. Where do you get that from? Esau. You hear this word, you broke up against it. Where do you get that from? Your daddy Esau. You see? The Lord is commanding us to put out the old man and become a new man in the spirit. Which means that now you got to humble yourself down, man. All right? James goes into that. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of the Most High, that you may exalt you in due time. So now you got to listen to teachers, ordinary men, who you can see to be nothing in society before Esau, right? But in the spirit, we're above everybody. You know, from our apostle on down. Because this is where the order is coming from the heavens, man. You know? That was on that.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2, KJV. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua.
Right, so we know that word, we're proving the will of the Most High is America being destroyed simultaneously coinciding with the salvation of the elect. That's what you got to understand first and foremost. So in order to receive that salvation, you can't be but conform unto this world. You know, look at that word real quick. It's the word conform, strong G, 4964.
To conform oneself, i.e. one's mind and character, to another's pattern.
Yeah. So again, you was brought up in the mind of Esau. Feeling the lust of the flesh, the desires of the flesh, doing as you will, right? That's what Esau does. But now the Lord is calling you back into an obedience by the way of the scripture. But you're translating yourself, you're getting out the Western mindset to adopt what the Eastern mindset, going back into the scripture. the scripture says, seek ye the old path, and then you find rest for your soul. What did Jack say? You would not. You would not walk therein, man. All right? Yeah.
Fashion oneself according to.
Yep. You can't be fashioned according to this world. But when you hear like a Trey song, you know, song going into what Mrs. Kia Girl or some other kind of adult strip crime, something like that. Yeah. Like strip crime, nigga having beat up women wives and shit. Breaking up relationships. Yeah, same girl. R. Kelly, all the niggas homos. But when they teach the ideology of Esau, so-called white man. They teach you to rebel. That's why Esau set the book to such a higher standard because they got influence. So he upheld nigga pretty penny to corrupt the minds of many Israelites. He's in the party niggas to get destruction. You know, Brian James, many more.
This James 4:4, ye adulterers, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua?
Yeah, so what does it mean also when you're in friendship with the world? That means that you want this current society to continue. You're not looking forward to American destruction. That's the perfect will of the Most High. All right? So we can mingle amongst these people and still be in our secret place. They don't know where the fuck we got going for real. Because in the back of our mind, we want America to be destroyed. We can kick it with you for a minute. Hey, but the end result is that, you know, this thing gonna go down, man. That's what you hope for. You don't know, but we do. Yeah.
It says, whosoever therefore will be afraid of the world is the enemy of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Yeah, so you don't want to be entangled and ensnared by the ways of America, man. Kissed by that strange woman. She said she had peace offers. But it may be in the form of a career, you know, a family, relationship. All these things which was presented as peace unto our youth. Hey, you gotta understand that this wasn't your rest. And ultimately she's gonna pass away. So what do you put your stock into now? Is it America still? If you understand the ultimate will of the Most High, you shouldn't be there. You know, but you got certain Israelites that tell you to pretty much, hey, kick back. You know, put your feet up, relax. You know, be in that merged spirit. Yeah. You know, Jake like to have fun and shit. And but the scripture said there's a time and a place and everything. This ain't a time for party and bullshit. It's a time for being sober-minded. What's the other word looking for? House of mourning. House of mourning. What? Yeah, that's another too. Pretty much the house of mourning. Solomon. Yeah, Solomon. Lord said he would gather the Solomon 7. Yeah,
This Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2, and it says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart.
Yeah, so the living consider. Those who really understand what they've been brought into, we consider that the Passover, like the brother mentioned, it's not a time to be festive. You shouldn't be at the strip club or having some kind of party. Hey, knowing that the Lord sacrificed his life, you know, if we receive his grace. That's why the Lord says when you do this, and do this in remembrance of me. You niggas don't remember the sacrifice that Yahweh shot made. That was a very solemn night. So pretty much you're supposed to be in the same spirit of being solid. You know? Contrite. Hoping that Lord pass over. Ain't nobody made it yet. You know? That was pretty much.
Yeah.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 15. And the heading is, do not love the world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Yep, neither things in the world. Yeah, neither things that are in the world, man. That comes with everything in what you see. Scripture says that, you know, 2 Corinthians 4th chapter, the last verse, the things which are seen are temporal, the things which are not seen are what it comes. So it takes for faith to believe in what you can't see. Everybody right now believes in what they can see. They believe that America might get better. But we know that it's not. You know? But before we continue, bro, I think it was the moment that Ecclesiastes 7. Yeah.
Yep.
NLT Bible study.
Yeah, it's okay. Start at the same verse at the end of the
Sorry, sorry. Go right there.
God, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 2, NLT. It says, better to spend your time at funerals than at parties. After all, everyone dies, so the living should take this to heart.
And also, Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, I believe it goes into NLT, funeral song, you know what I'm saying? Now, for doing, there you go. A lot of people finna die, man. Right? You got a lot of mourning. You got
Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has the refining influence on us.
Yeah, because you understand through the knowledge that everything is corrupt. You know, you can't get ahead. This was set up for your wrist. Your woman is off. All right? Niggas is off. Children are off. I think it's looking with Idris. The king is wicked. The women are wicked. The children are wicked. You know? Everything is off, man. Now you just want white. Yeah.
A wise person thinks a lot about death.
A wise person thinks about death. The Lord said you don't repent, I'm gonna kill your ass, man. Straight up, he said he's gonna kill you by either way of the famine, the wild beasts of the field, captivity, pestilences, or just ultimate missiles. You know? And we don't want to be a part of that judgment for the wicked. You got us.
Again, if I may, it says a wise person thinks a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time.
Yeah, but see, we can have, so many good times sometimes, but it's like our mindset is different from a nigga in the world. It's like, it speaks about, at the end of that verse, it's heaven. Something to that effect, it's about defining it real quick. So like, you may have, the Lord gives you a little leeway to let your hair down, but it's like your mind is consumed by that shit, but you know that in the future, and both of them bring for destruction. Nobody scripture says, remember not to later in the days that I do. While the evil days come not. You see? We still got the sight to see this shit ain't gonna be what it is now, man. But it speaks about, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, this Proverbs 14 and verse 13. Even in laughter, the heart is soft, and the end of that mirth is heavy.
Yeah, when niggas in the world, when they laugh, in that first year, what they trying to do? They're trying to get over the situation which they're in now. That's why people say this is not drink wine with a song, but it should be bitter for them and drink because they understand that they don't understand that this shit will get worse and worse. But see us, when we have like a get together with them, like drink a little something or whatever, but our heart, our mind is not in that first spirit. We know that rules gonna bring for destruction. After we get sobered up real quick. Or we get sobered out. See? Got it up.
This Proverbs 5 verse 1. It says, my son, attend to my wisdom and bow thou ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Yes, and this is the reason why the Lord set up prophets. When you go into the book of James 1 and 21, they say, receive with meekness and grasp the word, and they will save your soul. And where the graphic goes to being able to receive instructions by, a man who will set up a teacher. And that's a prophet. Yeah. So if you're not able to humble yourself into that standard, then how can you receive prophet, guidance, and instruction? You see, you got to be humble. Keep you from the way of a strange woman that flatter with her lips. You think that America ain't got shit up for offering, man, but destruction. See, they got it up.
But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell.
Yeah, her path go down into death. You take the path of America, the philosophy, when it offers you peace, you're going to be down to destruction. Now you're not hoping for the living, you're hoping for American routine, you're hoping for prosperity, And that's all tangled within, you're doing your own thing. Not the willing to about your own track. At the end of that, if you know something, you have to do.
It says, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of her life. It's like a read that again. It says, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house.
Well, the scripture says, thy words are a lamp, a light, a lamp. Matter of fact, can you get that? Yeah. Well, get that real. From
119 and 105.
Book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 105. It says, the word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
A light unto your path. The world's all in darkness at one point, but then this marvelous light, it is truth. The word, right, was revealed unto us. And we started taking that detour side. We started walking in the ways of righteousness. We stopped committing those, we stopped worshiping Jesus Christ, all these idols. You know, we started following Yahweh Shai through the word. Now we see the result of that. We've been led to the way of peace. You know, Lord, will we continue with that?
Book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life.
That's the way of life. Yeah, so what does reproof mean? That means to be corrected. That means to be admonished. It means to be warned. That you're going off. You don't need to go that way. And that's the way of darkness. But here's a light. The scriptures. So follow what the scriptures say. And you're going to be dead out in darkness into the way of peace. But then again, you got to get your heart and receive instruction. You know? The Lord has set up his standard in order, man. And nigga despise the like scripture say.
Says to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
America, you know, really they're talking about America. America, outside looking in, looks beautiful. It's like when you see a bad bitch from afar off, it looks good. It's like, damn, I would like to get close to that. But then when you finally get her, it's like when you lay down with the motherfucker, it's like, damn, that ain't what I thought it was. Not a man. Motherfucker stink. You know, you got marks and shit. I didn't know you had them before. It's like, nah, this ain't what I signed up for. That's what you signed up with America, man. But she offers the keys off. Like, you know, she give you that seductive look. You got a makeup on and shit. You wake up in the morning when the bitch ain't got no makeup, you like, what the fuck you lay down with? You was drunk that night. Yeah, you was going up. Get up, get out the bed, something. That's what we find out, man. Got up in the morning, you know, when the light came, oh shit. Yeah. Man, you look bad last night, but today you look like, God. But anyway.
So like if I may, you know, even the movie coming to America. You know, before Hakeem came to America, you know, he went on the globe and looked up Queens. You know, he thought this place was gonna be nice, man. You know, but till he got over here, they stole his luggage and shit. You know, he went to the club, it was fucking trannies and shit. You know, that shit was crazy. You know, when he came over here. Say what up? Yeah, McDowell. You know, but that's what you get when you come to America, man. There's a bunch of weirdos, man. You know, just a bunch of weirdos, man. You know, and that's what America produces. You know, a bunch of weirdos, man. Like that.
I got the bag down low. This Proverbs 7 in verse 21, it said, with her much bad speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stock. You know, and this really, you can equate America to this, because with her much bad speech, she caused a lot of men to yield. See, you know, you can the beauty, you know, the Lord described these places being the golden cup, man. The lady of kings, see, and this, you know, this was quoted to the nation, man. You see, but yeah, it said with a much fast speech, she caused him to yield. It said with the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straight way as an ox goeth to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stock, to a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Because America's going to destroy you, man. You know, with a sudden destruction. Because ultimately, this place is going to lead you to a chip, man. You know, but it says, hearken to me now therefore of the children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thy heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. For she has cast down many wounded, yeah, many strong men have been slain by her. I'm reading about her philosophy. Her doctrine, you falling out to the ways of America. This place destroyed, you're going to destroy your mind first and foremost. You know? And you can see even the nations here in the world that they pretty much slip in the bed with the Lord, for the lack of a better term. They society collapsing, man. Or decaying, now they got wars in this society. This is twerking, trap music, you know. But all this stuff stems from them dealing with the woman, man. You know, being enticed by America.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2. And this is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
See, man, the things of the world, it pollutes you, man. See, it's contrary to the ways that how about Son, like the opposite is going into. It leads you further away from deliverance, man. You know, you fall out, you will suddenly start to hate the living. You know? You know, this nigga Yakini got his mindset, everybody gonna save us. See, that's the ways of the world, man. Forget that philosophy came from Esau, man. You know, you can save yourself by getting rich. You know?
It said, verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
See this? You see? So the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. You know, a nigga chasing clout. You see? You want to be the hottest artist or the hottest nigga on the block, whatever it may be. Those things is hateful before the eyes of the Lord. But that spirit is pushed here in America, man. That's that spirit Jake walk in. You know, they call that shit the main character spirit. You know, they think he's the main character. See? The Lord don't like that, man. See? And you gonna see in Jacob's trouble. You know? And you see that spirit really in Christianity, man, in church. You know, a nigga think that he's saved. See?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
See that? So the Lord gonna confess your pride with misery. You know, and that misery, he gonna strip the society from you, man. Of resources, of convenience, luxuries. See? And it's gonna bring forth heavy misery upon the people, man. You know, but yet the Lord gonna sanction it.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world.
Yeah, you dwell in the world. You got that American mindset, man. See, you have to be formed by the renewing of your mind. You know? So that spirit that America pushes is gonna lead you to misery. You know, that shit, it actually got a destination, man. You America got a destination. See? They gonna lead you to the evil. If the Lord take that evil and only evil behold its come. But then that evil is gonna really, you Americans gonna dwell in that evil, man.
Come, because they have walked in great pride.
It's because of your pride. See? And Jacob's heavy in that spirit of pride, man. But the Lord tell you how pride is hateful before God and man. You know, you're gonna see how much the Lord hates pride. Your pride go also destroy a lot of people in the earth. You know, you read 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter. I'm seeing the grab that.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, starting in verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the token, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
They coming from taking the Lord and people from off the earth. You know, really those Muslims, man. See, but the build up into it. You see, the Lord's gonna take a great number of people. The family gonna kill a lot of people, man.
And the way of truth shall be hidden,
See, the Lord gonna hide his word.
and the land shall be barren of faith.
Yep. See, because you take about complexity, man. You know, a nigga gonna lack answers. See, your resources gonna dry up. Your stability gonna leave. You gonna be at loss. You know? And then you got it.
But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest,
Man, that shit gonna cause the iniquity to increase upon the earth, man. You know, because it's gonna be a spirit of survival. They gonna be trying to survive, man. And it's gonna be by any means. See? Yeah.
come, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shall thou see wasted suddenly.
But you see, so what you see now, this shit gonna turn completely upside down. Right now, you see, we got lawn companies tilling the lawn, keeping this place up and beautiful. But in a moment in time, all this shit gonna be wild grass, man. Vines growing up on the side of buildings, windows busted out, buildings became vacant. Shit was once known as a private business. You know? Yeah, the land that you see now, the hair root is gonna be wasted suddenly, man. This shit gonna happen suddenly. On a random Tuesday. You gonna test the shit on fire. Ooh, yeah, that's it. Nero on that power, man. And you know that nigga burnt down wrong. See, but you see Trump and his administration, he really burning America down. He really got these Americans in a position where they can't do shit but cry and complain, man. You know, and pressure bust pipes. See, so much attention put on these people, they gonna bug out, man. You know, then you gonna see fire and smoke going up in cities.
I got it. Just to answer your point too, Trump even said that he don't give a fuck about you Americans. You know? So then it shows you where he's staying with you Americans out there. Put your stocking to him, but something for you, bro. Second, Ezra 15 and 49. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death.
See, yeah, the Lord gonna send widowhood, poverty, famine, widowhood, poverty, death, and destruction. See? And yeah, it's gonna be a shortage of men, you know. But yeah, a poverty, because you got Trump in his administration, he's going away to jobs and even defunding colleges, you know. So, say this again.
God, say in 15 and 49, it says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with death and destruction. And what the brother going into, but it's ultimately, this is the lawyer Howard Shasky. This was coming to America, all right? We're not talking about a time of peace, but a time of what evil. So the Lord's going to continue to waste your houses with death and destruction. Pestilence, as you mentioned, you got the Ebola, you got the norovirus, you got the Hannah right? You know what it is. You got, what else? Monkeypox. All these things that's going to fuel this episode once, man. Yeah, bird flu, yeah, all that shit. So it's like the Lord bringing all this at one time. The land on top of calamity. He did 725, man. So it's like, it's only going to intensify. You got death, you got famine to look forward to. You got wars in the streets, and up like, race war, class war, civil war. What you going to do in them times, like Edward said? You're going to have the spirit of Yahweh by small shot and miracles.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid.
Yeah, it's gonna be because of your pride, man. The Lord gonna send forth events into America that's gonna put you in fear. You know, men gonna be afraid. Even tell you how men's hearts gonna fail in fear, looking after those things that's coming on the earth. See, so prophecy is really gonna change the tone of America for lack of better time. See,
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
See, yep. Yeah, that's spirit of survival, man. They gonna be trying to survive. See? Because even with those SNAP benefits being cut off, you know, it tells you how millions of Americans have suffered from that, man. See? So now you got 1 million hungry people. You know? And when food becomes scarce, you're gonna have 2.7 million and 22 million. You know, that shit gonna get wild in America, man. You know, power outages. They be like, yeah, we got 100,000 people without power right now. That's a large number. 20 people are a lot of people. You know? There are 20 people trying to beat your ass. You gonna be in fear, man. See? So imagine 1,000 or 100,000 people being without resources. Yeah, you in that bunch, man. See?
Look at right now in Florida, you got the Everglades on fire. You know, then they talking about an El Nino, you know, extreme heat. You know, you got these different storms. You know, the Lord said he was going to do this. He said, I'll visit you with storm and tempest, the flame of devouring fire, earthquakes in diverse places. And we seeing all this going on, man. You know, the Lord is visiting this place, man. You know, but the scriptures also say greater evil than these shall be done. So you're going to have more storms, more earthquakes, more hurricanes, more pestilence, more death, more destruction, man. You know, this is what's coming down the pipe, man. It's a very dangerous time, man.
Perilous time.
It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
See, because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So for the sake of survival, for the sake of resources and stability, niggas ain't gonna have a care in the world. It takes you to the second Timothy 3. Now they should lack natural affection. When you go into that word natural affection, it takes you back to in vain, man. You know, even the Lord saying how the love of many won't wax cold. You go into that phrase, wax cold, it takes you back to psycho. See, so this is what's coming. It's the theme of the times ahead, man. Theme music. You know, Lord said funeral songs, nigga. See? Orphans. You know? And y'all know, sad shit, man.
Seeing that you just hit our neck of the woods, Jake that they found in the woods, goddamn dismembered, shot, and set on fire. You know? This is what we seeing, man, going to these perilous times, man. We're in some very, like evil times, man. You know, that's what's coming down the pipe, some very evil times, man. You know, well, now's not the time to be playing around, man.
Yeah, all you gotta do is download news break.
Yeah.
The news break cover a wide spread of events, man. Hey, yeah, Ed Malcolm say I had to delete that shit off my phone. You know? I mean, it's like, yeah, that shit that shows you how much is going. It shows you the value of self-death, man. You see, shit really American. You got mothers keeping their 2-year-old children out of 2-story buildings. You know, killing them and the kids, man. It's a season for people. You see? But yeah, it's going to climax. So where it's going to be not only in your neck of the woods, but in your own doorstep. You see? It's going to be somebody you know. You know, or your closest family member, man.
Scripture also come out. This is on the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 5. It says, thus saith the Lord Jehovah, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come, and watching for thee, behold, it is come.
See, the end is come, man. See, but yet that end is led by the evil increasing. You see, the Lord said, evil and only evil, behold, is come. That word evil translates back into bad times. You see? So this is the will of the Lord, man. This is what's going to discipline itself. You know, bad times and only bad times. This is where repentance, you know, we want you to repent and return to the Lord. You got it, huh?
Ezekiel 75, NLT. And it says, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way.
So like the brother mentioned, forest fires, famines, pestilence, evils, you know, war droughts, you see, widowhood, poverty, famine. A lot of people finna lose their jobs, man. Houses, pensions, 401k, insurance, finna lose all that shit, man. You know, yeah. Yeah, because the Lord tell you how this place is like a breach ready to fall. Swell out in the high wall, and the breaking coming suddenly at an instant. Everything concerning this place is going to suddenly collapse. And this is what the elites want, man. So they can present that solution to you. You know, this is going to be the chip.
It says the end has come, has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting.
Yeah, doom is waiting on you, man. You see that World War III? That's the perfection of doom. When those missiles are shot over to America. See, they ain't just building missiles. And every time they drop a missile, every time they drop a simulation of a nuclear attack, it's always America. See, that lets you know that's America's destination, nigga. Your missile can't reach America. You know, your program ain't no shit. See, that's the destination, nigga. You don't fuck about that shit. Reach a nation close to you, man. Nigga say, what about America, man?
The Psalms 7, verse 12. Y'all read the KJV. It says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He has fit his bow and made it ready. Yeah, Esau doesn't repent, and if you know that he's not, the Lord's going to whet or sharpen his sword. What is that sword? It's talking about the ICBM. All right, you see what it's drawn up to all the way up until the time of Oppenheimer with the atomic bomb. Now you got nuclear weapons that can fly from one country to another, man. That's the Lord sharpening his sword. So it says, he had bent his bow and made it ready. They have also prepared for him the instruments of death. That's talking about the nuke. So it says, he ordaineth his arrows against the persecution. Going to what the Lord is talking about, everybody got a nuke aimed at America. These are the persecutors. America goes around pretty much confiscating all the resources of the earth, destroying information, you can't send them to market. You got LGBT people flourishing across the earth, you know? So these nukes are aimed at America. It's not hard to see that. All right? So it's the Lord that's behind the scene that's orchestrated World War III to bring a great demise to America, the most proud. See that? Let's answer you. You got up.
Yeah, and the scripture going to the Lord's slavery and oppression. Slavery. And he's amazing.
Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1.
Zephaniah 3 and 1, it says, woe to her that is filthy and polluted to the oppressed city.
Yeah, you see, woe means death and destruction. That oppression city is America, man. This place oppression you on all fronts, man. You see, because here in this society, you subject to payments. You know, but not only here in America, this place oppresses you, but this place oppresses the planet Earth. You know, because when you read Revelations, with that 6 and 4 or 6 and 5, says you about that man that sat upon that red horse, that he was set up to take peace from the earth. You know? And that's what Esau eating. The way this nigga take peace, he put sanctions on you. You see, cause other nations back to accept the resources and whatnot, and it pretty much collapses on your country. You know? Yeah, this guy, he's the oppressor, man. The Lord is going to pretty much destroy this guy. This nigga the problem in the earth. This oppressor, man. Yeah, fucking cars and shit, man. See, because you even got a thing called sound pollution in his kingdom, man. You know, this nigga all these loud ass noises and shit, man. That's oppressive, man. You see? And even if you're a person, you know, you want to get rich, they can tell you, yeah, man, we just got to get rich and buy land, man, and set up generational wealth. But he dropping chemtrails in your neighborhood, nigga, on top of your land. You see? So you still oppressed with this nigga, man. Yeah, land taxes. You see? This nigga selling you bad pipes, little pipe bursting in your house. You know? But yeah, that's what I'm going to destroy this guy, man. Along with his city. See?
Zephaniah 3 and 2, it says, she obeyed not the voice, she received not correction.
Yeah, obey. obey, Esau don't obey the prophets, man. See, because the voice of the Lord is the prophets. You know, this nigga cast away despitefully.
That's the word behind it.
Yeah, that's it.
It says, yep, she trusted not in the Lord, she drew not near to her power.
Hey, see, so Esau don't trust me and I don't buy this nigga, he pushed the big bang theory. And when you dismantle that, he'll tell you, look, nigga, I'm God. You know? So that's why the Lord got destroyed. He took on this God complex as well. See, and he's gonna try to perfect that with the micro-seer. You know? This is why the Lord is gonna destroy this man for being in rulership, man. See, because of his many offenses in the planet Earth. And even those offenses will spill over to you people to where you carry out, this man's mindset as well. Tell you that in Ecclesiastes, as the ruler of the sea is, so should the people be also. So if Esau hate the Lord by default, you niggas hate the Lord, man. You know, you might say, I love the Lord. But it's your deeds, your actions that shows that you hate the power by the shot.
Oh, should have said, if I may, let us not love in word, but in deed.
That's it.
Yeah,
Let us not love in word, but in deed, man. That's what the Lord said, that they honor me with their lips. They heart is far from me. Yeah, if I may, it's like I got this homosexual nigga that live where I work in and shit. And the nigga, he's supposed to be a priest though. You know what I mean? He got like the little black collar with the white thing on that shit. And you go in and shit, he got all these Bible scriptures saying, but before you step in a nigga's spot, his doormat is a rainbow. You know? So it's just like this nigga all over the fucking place. But yeah, that came from Esau, man. Yeah, fucking black chapters, man. You know? But that nigga hate the Lord, man. You see, as much that's honoring him with your lips. But your heart, nigga, your heart. Your heart far. Your heart on the other side of town, nigga. You know?
They have not known me. You know, these niggas really don't know the Lord, man. You know, if your neighbor really knew the Lord, man, he wouldn't be no fucking freak. You know, he'll know the Lord to kill his ass, man. You know, that's an abomination in your house by some outside for two men to lay together, man.
See? But this is why destruction is coming to American Babylon the Great, man. For the many offenses. And it's not like America shun away from their offenses. They put this on the forefront, man. They installed it to the trial. Pride is installed to the trial in America. Boredom, homosexuality, upon many effeminate men. That shit is an offense in the eyes of the Lord, man. Foolish people. The Lord don't like fools. The Lord tell you a fool should not stand in his sight. Paraphrase. You know? The Lord hate fools. But that shit, it gets you on a level here in society, man. See?
Isaiah 3 and verse 9. It's in the NLT. It says, if every look on their faces steals them away, they display their sin like the people of Sodom and don't even try to hide it.
Hey, see? Yep, that's an American. And you can sit on a nigga's face, y'all, man. You know? They don't take much, bro. Yep, a man should be known by his looks, man. You can tell these niggas' face they off. You see? And they, according to their sins, they don't hide it. See? Niggas speak boldly and proudly about adultery. You know, homosexuality, fucking eating abominable foods. They don't shun away from speaking ill towards those things, man. Stop.
It says they are doomed. They have brought destruction upon themselves.
Yeah, the Lord said you doomed, man. See, because you done became friends with that shit. You know, you done cleave to the very thing the Lord hates. So now you doomed, man. You finished. See, it's so much so when we speak against it, you hate it, man.
It says, tell the godly that all will be well for them. They will enjoy the rich reward they have earned.
Yep, see, it's in the kingdom, man. You see, but even on this side, being delivered from the said peril. You see, being fed in the famine. You know, being kept safe when the sense of security is gone. Yeah, that's a part of a righteous reward, man. Yet the reward is one of the climax to the kingdom of heaven, man.
Book of 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly.
See, yeah, so Sodom and Gomorrah was an example. You see, the Lord made an example out of you. And yet America, America didn't even get the example, man. You know how a fucking mouthful that they got the questions, then they got the example A, example B, you just flip the page, man. Yeah, he ain't even see me, and you get tested, you don't know what the hell going on, man. See? Yep, in the whole world, man, especially here in America, you want to be destroyed because of your lack of not destroyed the house by Shina. You really think the Lord is a passive power and he don't exist. You know, they got all these different sayings and doctrines. The Lord gonna flush that shit, man. See? And you gonna get flushed right along with it. You know?
Ecclesiastes 8:11 NLT. It says, when a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong.
Yo, if the crime is not punished quickly, they feel it's safe to do wrong, man. This America. These people don't think the Lord gonna do nothing. You know, a nigga tell you, man, I've been doing that shit since I was 15. You know, but the Lord tell you how he's long suffering. And yet he would not at all let you go. See, so you just gonna find out in the family then. You know, or when all hell breaks loose and your door get kicked in. See, then nigga, you saw that draft that came to your company, your door. It was in your mailbox with your name on it. See, that's how the Lord will suddenly come upon you. And you least expect it, man. Yeah, hey, so with that, I can pray that you was edified. You want to praise, honor, and glory.
See Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the Lord's elect. And next time we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Night.
Right now. Water for 2 minutes.